hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's been a minute, right? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? You know, I always gotta get my Varnell Hill on. Um, I am going to be working from home today. Um, I am already looking. I start at 8, but I'm looking now. Um, how have you guys been? How was your weekend? How'd you sleep? And all that good stuff that I always ask. Um, I had a decent weekend. I was able to get outside. One of my girlfriends came down. Shout out to Lex. She came down and we made it outside. We made it outside and we had a good old time at the patio. Old Faithful. Um, so yeah, we had fun out there. And after I made it outside, I didn't realize they still be taking pictures at the club. Okay, so this lady was around taking pictures. And then at the end, they gave the pictures in a frame. I took a picture of the picture in the frame and put it up. But I was just like, I mean, the pressure. I was like, oh my God, they brought it around. They brought so many different pictures. You asked me to take like 4 shots. And so I was out there posing. And then she brought them in frames. I was like, oh, well, now I must purchase. Oh my God. But that was funny. That was funny. But yeah. So while I was out, y'all, I met this guy that was telling me how his best friend was this woman or whatever. And I immediately was like, I don't think so. You know, I'm not getting into a relationship with a man who's telling me that his best friend is a woman. I don't care. I'm not doing it. Um, why is that? Because I don't believe in that. I don't believe that that's true. I don't believe that that's real, um, personally. And that's not to say that I don't have male friends. It's just that the truth will always be, in my observation and in my experience, that men and women have very different agendas when it comes to the use of the title friend. Um, and it's not that men aren't capable of being friends, but I don't think they generally see the value in just platonic female friendships. I think, in my experience and my observation, um, all men would be willing to sleep with me or you, lady. And as long as they're willing to do that, that's how you know they're not friends. That's how you know y'all not friends. He gotta genuinely not see you that way, or be willing to do it if the opportunity even presented itself. So even if you like him or you would do it with him, but you just don't, the fact is, if it was ever on the table, he would need to be the one to reject it. And if he doesn't, it's because y'all are not friends. It's because he's lurking. Okay? That's the real reason. So, yeah. So I'm not gonna go back and forth with a man about him saying he has a best friend as a woman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go back and forth with anybody about that. It's like, if you're saying that your best friend is a woman, excellent. Excellent. But like I said, I believe that if your best friend gave you the opportunity, you take it. Love you too. I believe if your best friend gave you the opportunity, you'll take it. And as long as a man is willing to take the opportunity to sleep with you, y'all are not friends. As long as you're not calling him, you don't go to the mall with him. He don't watch you shop. You don't just be on the phone talking about what's going on TV, hearing the latest gossip. He's your friend. Like you're his friend. Is he yours? Is he telling you everything? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. 9 times out of 10, you the one spilling your guts, telling him everything. Now he know every single thing about you. You know what I mean? In an emergency, is he the first person you're calling? Is he your uh, emergency contact? Is he on that list? So I'm not saying men and women can't be friends. I'm saying that I think that, hey, I'm saying that I think that if men and women are friends, I think they would be able to, are they watching each other's children? You know what I'm saying? Like stuff that I do with my girlfriends, I don't do with my male friends. And so that's how I know him and I are not friends. You know what I mean? That's how I know other men and women are not friends. You're not doing stuff with a man that you would do with a woman, y'all not friends like that. Not cool. But y'all not BFFs. Oh, that's not the case. And it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay, but just like stop fronting. Ain't no future in fronting, as they say. But yeah, so I had to reject him real quick and be like, I would never want to come between you and your friendship. I'm not gonna work that hard. I already have a job for now. And until said time that different, even still, that's not a job I'd be picking up because ain't no check getting cut. I'm gonna be in friends with nobody. So, so as long as I'm not getting paid, no thanks. But as we know, what's really going on? What's really going on is what? There's no peace in the Middle East. That's what we know. That's what we know. And it's a damn shame. Okay? It's a damn shame. But that's what's truly going on right now. And it's sad. It's sad. And I said this the other day. I said that Iran wasn't going to not respond. Because, see, even in regular life, walking around daily, you find yourself in situations where something happens and you feel the need to respond. Well, you can't just bomb a country and think they're not going to do nothing. Okay? So Iran bombed Qatar. Some American areas and some American, not areas, but American occupied areas in Qatar, which Qatar is a friendly country. Now, if they're going to do anything else, I don't know. I don't know that they're going to send bombs over as much as they may just activate their sleeper cells. You know what I mean? And now it's the airport, or it's the next marathon, or you know what I mean? It's the next concert. Who knows? Who knows? Um, but that's not anything that we should be able to put past them as an idea. And like I said, we got to have a bag packed. You know what I mean? Even though, for the most part, it's given stay put. Don't try to run somewhere, especially right away. And more importantly, if the actual affected area isn't close by, then you don't have to necessarily feel the need to run and find somewhere to go. But and of course, it's also just hard to say in general. Am I still on? Okay, so but yeah. So at the end of the day, we don't want. I mean, I'm not trying to have smoke with any other country, to be honest. And I'm hoping that they aim very specifically with whatever they're going to do. That's my recommendation. That's my recommendation. And now, they're calling for a ceasefire. A ceasefire. How you gonna call for a ceasefire with Iran and Israel after you just jumped in the fight? Ceasefire. The fight might be just getting started. You see what I'm saying? It's giving every time I see you. It's giving every time I see you. And so I don't know, I don't know how, of course, any of this is going to play out. But thinking that Iran or any country is just going to roll over, nah, that's not going to happen. And what's interesting is that when Israel went to Israel didn't do a lot of damage in Iran with whatever trouble they was causing with their bombs, and they didn't do the damage that we saying we did. Now, some of the reason why Israel could not do the damage to Iran is because Russia was able to stop their attack. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? That means that Russia always will be in cahoots. Russia has their own agenda against the United States. Okay? Okay? So if if Russia was able to stop Israel from attacking Iran in a certain way, but Russia did not stop the United States from attacking Iran in a certain way, the way that we did, Russia is in cahoots. But see, Russia has always wanted to take a piece of the United States. The uranium that they got going on is all type of mess, y'all. It's all type of mess. But that's something to never, that has to be taken into consideration when you're thinking about these things. Like, Russia was able to stop Israel's attack on Iran, but Russia did not try to stop the United States attack on Iran. And now all of a sudden we're calling for a ceasefire. Yeah, so Putin is definitely in the pocket of the United States. And again, in the United States, we got a lunatic thinking that they could just jump in a fight and then be like, okay, because basically he's saying y'all fighting and I'm gonna jump in, and after I jump in, that's when y'all gonna have to stop fighting. Or what? You gonna jump in again? Because see, whenever Russia feels like they want to do something, they're gonna be able to be successful. It doesn't mean that, again, it doesn't mean we're not a superpower. It doesn't mean that that's not a fight we can win. It just means that Usher, I keep calling it Usher. You make me want to be the one. Anyway, Russia would be able to have a successful attack. They would. They would. Doesn't mean they will win the fight. And it certainly don't mean they're going to lose it. It's definitely giving a draw. You know what I mean? And somebody would just have to give up. But before anybody gives up, there will be a lot of casualties. And so I don't know that Iran is finished because we attacked 3 areas, and so far they've attacked 1. They might want to, they might want to even score, or they might want to take it a step further. I don't know. I don't know, but what I do know is, I don't want nothing to do with it. But more importantly, if we get attacked here in the United States, I'm gonna be working from home every day, and I ain't gonna need permission. The same way Donald Trump didn't get permission to attack them, he didn't go to Congress. He ain't have permission to do any of the things that's been going on. It's the same way I'm not gonna need permission. So we will see, and hopefully, I'm definitely not looking forward to that. But mm, it's just shameful what's going on, and how come once again nobody's stopping one person from doing something, from doing all of this. Nobody's doing anything to stop it. We haven't heard about his boyfriend in a minute, so he must be somewhere laying low, recovering, keeping his mouth closed. But again, the damage is already done, and so there's no need to really talk about him. I mean, it could start talking about him to, circumvent our focus on the fact that we down to the war. You know, we down to the war. So we will see. We will see. And if Iran attacks us in any way, if they try to attack us through the sky, you know, will Russia assist? Or will Russia watch bombs burst in the air? Because again, Russia was able to stop Israel from attacking Iran in a certain way. They still attacked them, but in a certain way. And so the question becomes, will they stop anything from happening as far as the air assault to us? Or would they just be like, whoops, that's not our country? And then it's just crazy because all of the aid has been stopped. You can't get aid for tornadoes. You can't get aid for a hurricane. You can't get aid for AIDS. They done stopped all of that. FEMA, all of that. So, God forbid something happens. Is it just, the city is just gone? That's it? No money is going to get sent over? Or are they going to leave it up to the states to clean up? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Either way, that's a fight we didn't need to jump in, especially if we were going to say ceasefire afterwards. But it's also giving 145% tariffs, and then the next day, we're going to change the tariffs. You know what I mean? And so, meanwhile, while that for the time period that the tariffs were in place, is the reason why shit is high as hell. Because at the time, people still have to purchase things, or they're not going to purchase it. So it's either high or it's not available. And the tariffs still aren't what they were. You know what I mean? What they were beforehand. And so they're still higher. They're not the ridiculous number that was being put out there, but that doesn't change anything. Like I said before, God help us all. Because we don't need faith and preparation. Personal preparation. The best you can. You know? But I ain't trying to be down to the war, y'all. Anybody got time for this? But like I said, the best way I could plan is knowing that, listen, if anything pop off, I'm going to be at the house. I'm going to be at the house and I'll keep up with what's going on via social media. And I won't be doom scrolling either. So don't y'all be doom scrolling. Just trying to look and look and look. Don't do that. You know? You can change your algorithm right now by only looking at things that make you happy, that make you feel good. And it's not that you're going to an alternate reality, but you are protecting your peace. And that's important. That's important. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I just wanted to come to y'all and say, hey y'all, hey. And that's that. But y'all have a good day. Don't let nobody piss you off. It don't matter who is in a war. It don't matter who's in the war. Don't let nobody piss you off. Okay? It ain't worth it. Disengage. We're already down to the war. Okay? We ain't got time to be locked up nowhere while a war is happening. That's a double whammy right there. So we don't want that. But anyway, y'all have a good day. And I will talk to y'all. Because the next couple of days I will be working from home. And of course, needless to say, I know I ain't got it on a Friday. Matter of fact, let me put that time in right now. Put that in right now. So let it be. I can't. Not me. Not me. I got to be off on Friday. Y'all already know that. I got stuff to do. Anywho, y'all. Y'all have a good day today, regardless. And no doom scrolling. You're not doom scrolling. You just the days have to go on regardless. If you keep waking up, you got to keep on operating as if, you know what I'm saying, you got bills to pay and you got stuff to do. And so we do that, but we also make sure we're ready and prepared. Like I said, you're still going to want to get to the store. You're still going to want to make sure you have an emergency bag packed. You're still going to want to make sure your freedom papers are intact and checked and available and with copies. And then go about your day. Those are some of the best ways to prepare. And for the rest, the chips will fall where they may. Literally and figuratively. You know? So, that's it. Relax your mind and let your conscience be free, y'all. And have a good day. Have a good rest of the week if I don't see y'all. Alrighty? Alright, y'all.